Go ahead and mute yourself and also get the battle started. We will be able to get into this. So Eric and the Rocky Mountain Heavy Metals are going to be taking on Tishen and his selfish substitutes, the reincarnation of such. So this week, Eric's going to be working with the Sirfetch'd, Lapras, Runerigus, Corviknight, Manectric, and Sableye. Well, Tishen will counter with the Heliolisk, Charizard, Mew, Gigalith, Jellicent, and the Excadrill. So any immediate win cons you see off the top, Alice? Anything you're noticing?
Immediately, I can see that both of them have very strong leads, and not just a single very strong lead, but multiple options to strong leads. Being that Zero has a few pivots that could be leading and a few setup Pokemon that can lead as well, which could really affect the course of the game. Here we are seeing the Runerigus is leading here. I feel like there are some big, heavy attackers in Zero's team at least, but also looking over at Tishen, I'm seeing that he has brought some nice weather Pokemon there, which could mean that we might be seeing some weather wars going on here. Both teams do have access to a very opposing weather teams, and not only that, but they also can try to control the course of the game by countering each other's attacks. While one side has access to Sunny, the other side has access to Rain, which could mean that we might see some strategies here where they're trying to lower the damage that they're taking through weather.
So right off the bat, we are seeing the Jellicent perfectly counter lead this Runerigus. I'm sure he wanted to set up maybe Toxic Spikes, maybe Rocks, I'm not sure.
Quite
but
possibly, yeah.
Unfortunately, Jellicent, a perfect counter, and actually shows the Taunt here, first move out. So definitely going to be able to shut down any Runerigus, but the Lapras switching in was covering the Scald option. Doesn't really mind the Taunt on the switch-in, so...
Seeing that Taunt first turn means that Tishen quite possibly was expecting the lead of possibly Prankster, Sableye, or the Runerigus. So I think Tishen looked over the team and just decided that one of the best leads that could come out of this was either a...
oh my god!
Such as Rocks.
Hold the phone. We got our first hacks of the battle. Freeze, dry, freeze. First turn out. Welcome to Gen 8 Tishen. This is not your Gen 7 where you won 2 different TBL. And then a crit following it. Yo! Eric out here with no holds barred. First kill to Eric. Shakes off the taunt. Whoa.
We got some hacks straight away here.
Yeah.
So I feel like we could safely say that this Lapras was brought to counter some of Tishen's quite strong water types as well as the flying types. Seeing that Freeze Dry was on there, I feel like we could safely say that Zero was expecting possibly the Jellicent, but also maybe expecting some of the strong flying types that Tishen managed to draft as well.
All right, so the Mew is actually what's going to come out here.
We do not yet know what the item is on this Lapras, do we?
We have not seen it pop, I don't believe, no. It hasn't taken any damage, so it still could be very well just like a leftovers bulky set. Mew gets the crit back, so at least one of the 2 hacks are coming his way. As Lapras actually opts for the Parasong here, so he's really clearly worried about a setup Mew at this moment in time.
Yep.
And very, very good ability to keep that in check.
Parasong is actually quite notable as to what the Lapras is attempting to do here. We have seen that it's got quite a powerful attack in Freeze Dry, but also quite a defensive attack in Parasong, which could lead us to believe that the Lapras is designed here to maybe last out some of the Pokemon that Tishen got with setup, and maybe come in to counter them. Because we did see that in the draft, Tishen did get quite a few Pokemon that can take advantage of things like Dragon Dance, Swords Dance, and some of the classic setup moves. We do see that the Lapras does proc off its leftovers, confirming that its item is leftovers.
And actually, Sableye is going to come out. So it's clear that Eric maybe is playing around a possible choiced Mew instead of a setup Mew now that he's gotten the option to see it's going to go for Psychic.
The phone, that is a blanked attack here with the first turn of Parasong.
Yeah, and so that's something Tishen's going to have to play around, and Eric actually gets a free chance to knock off, and actually either outspeeds or the Mew is going for some sort of phasing at this point. The leftovers are what comes out, and it shows the teleport, so wasn't scarfed or choiced or anything, just has leftovers. It was a bulky Mew. It's got the teleport. Obviously, newly incredibly useful in Gen 8, but that knockoff getting a chance to do 50% of the Mew before it switches out is actually huge.
Not just 50%, not just 50%, but it also got rid of that leftovers, which might come back to haunt T-Shen later on in this battle.
Yeah, and it's clear that he prepped to opt for the teleport instead of something like Baton Pass that Mew gets, to try to get the slow, momentum out, but ends up backfiring.
That could mean that the Mew was designed to come out first here. Maybe T-Shen changed his mind on the lead upon seeing Zero's team. But when you see a teleport on a Pokemon like that, as opposed to Baton Pass, that could be an indicator that the Mew was designed to be the first Pokemon out in order to scout what Zero was trying to do and swap out with the teleport, which would also confirm why there was a leftovers. It's possibly designed to be a bulkier set to scout the opposing lead and teleport out into an appropriate counter.
Now, we actually get some really interesting information here. This Jellicent actually shows Cursed Body. It's not water absorbed. So that means that Surf from Lapras, while not as good as Freeze Dry, obviously, to hit the Jellicent, is at least free and won't be healing the Jellicent. And now, of course, Cursed Body hitting the knockoff here for T-Shen is pretty nice just because he doesn't have to take any more knockoffs. His Culver Berry did pop, so he won't be taking any boosted knockoffs, but it's still super effective in stab. But the fact that we see it over Water Absorb is certainly something to keep in mind as we move forward, since that does mean the Lapras has more chances to...
We do also see that the Sableye is opting to go for the classic leftovers on it, which we've seen quite a lot of that in the past. In past generations, haven't we, Gold? Leftovers, Sableye is one of those classic sets.
Oh, yeah. Prankster Recover, still solid.
Can never go wrong with it.
Nope, it's been good for what, 4 or 5 generations now? Like,
yeah. We do see that Zero has opted to go into the Lapras now, but now seeing that there is no Water Absorb, possibly trying to scare out that Jellicent in order to get a free attack in on another Pokemon.
Certainly, and again, I mean, just looking at what T-Shen brought, it's not like Freeze Dry is ever a bad move. Obviously, the Gigalith, if it sets up sand, isn't going to be taking very much damage from it. But 10% chance to freeze is a very good chance to freeze, as we've seen.
10% chance to freeze is very good, yeah.
I mean, Lapras...
We've already seen that it is effective. It is enough percentage chance to land it.
Yeah, so...
We do also know that there is still a frozen Pokemon on the opposing team. Clearly might come into play here. But we do also know that the Lapras has got Parasong that has been revealed earlier on.
He actually just opts to go straight for that Freeze Dry, and the Cursed Body is going to pop on that Freeze Dry. And this is where you're going to notice that if this Shadow Ball doesn't take out the Lapras, which I don't recall if it's going to quite do it, this Surf actually is going to be able to be clicked here.
It was a 3-hit KO, I believe. Yes, it was.
So Surf could be clicked here to actually take out this Jellicent before it gets a chance to make a move, because we know it's not Water Absorb. Which is...
I mean, having that burn on the Jellicent is also going to be handy, because even if the Lapras does not manage to take it out, at least he's going to get one more proc off. And if Zero does have Protect on anything, that can then come in and finish off the Jellicent.
But the fact of the matter is that Jellicent couldn't go for a recover because it didn't have the Water Absorb here. Was unable to.
As Eon Nagima correctly stated in the chat, Jellicent does also get access to Strength Sap.
Oh, true. I keep forgetting that in Gen 8 it got that. It's such a broken move. Yeah, a little surprised we went for a Shadow Ball there.
Such a good move. Never underestimate the Strength Sap on the Vileplume, guys. Strength Sap, Vileplume, new meta.
Strength Sap anything, dude. I had it on this week. I had it on my Poltegeist earlier. I didn't end up getting to use it because Poltegeist just came in and did work.
We do see the Mew switch in here. Opting to run Soft Boiled. That means that this has been transferred up, I believe. I don't think Soft Boiled is in this game yet.
I don't think Mew is able to be in this game legitimately outside of being transferred from home, so...
Yeah, that is true, yeah. Actually, has there been an event? I don't know.
It's in Let's Go,
honestly don't know.
But I don't recall if you can get it in this game outside of that. But we do see the Parasong come out, so...
get the opportunity here to go for the Parasong, while the Mew is now back up to full health.
Full health doesn't matter for a Parasong, though, let's be honest. And he does still have access to both the Psychic Immunity as well as things that can just kind of handle the Mew being here. So he's going to actually try to preserve this Lapras for later. That thing has picked up 2 kills for him already. you know, on some level, maybe it's already done its job, you could say. We do see the gravity. So that's actually all 4 of Mew's moves have been revealed at this point.
Yeah. So that means that it does get countered by a dark type by the looks of things.
Yeah.
We've seen that we've got psychics, soft boiled, teleport, and gravity.
Yes. But gravity, wonder exactly what mon that's going to be using. I guess he wants his Excadrill to be able to hit the Corviknight. That's what he's running the gravity for.
Yeah, that is really good. I believe gravity would also prevent things like Magnet Rise, Manectric if T-Shen is
worried about it.
Stuff in for the very cliche Magnet Rise Manectric.
One thing I want to commend these 2 battlers for already off the bat too is that they have been playing just like they know the calc they want, they know the meta they're looking for and the matchups they're looking for, so they've been playing very quickly, which does give them a chance to get a couple more moves in than some battles that we've seen earlier this league already.
You see the teleport switching back out again, clearly getting it out before the last turn of Perishong is up, saving the Mew, and in comes the Charizard. Now, I don't think we've seen this Charizard come out yet, have we?
No, it had not.
It?
Had not hit the battlefield yet. Curious what he's going to do against this Reneragus here. Maybe try to set up a Dragon Dance, maybe even a sub-slack Belly Drum set.
Hey Joseph, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today, my friend?
Yeah, everybody who we didn't say hello to on the stream, we are watching the chat, so we enjoy you. We appreciate you. And the Willow Charizard actually is what comes out, hits the Reneragus, which we did see was a physical set. And
now,
shows
Willow is a very interesting pick here. We don't normally see that being used by a Charizard. It's not exactly known for its bulk. However, we do see that that it does survive this rock slide from the Reneragus.
It just
quite nice health as well after the Will-O-Wisp. Now, I don't know too much about the Calc's goal, but I believe that would lead us to believe a defensive set for the Charizard.
Seems defensive.
Which means we might see some sort of setup Pokemon here.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see something setup wise. Though it does go for the flamethrower, which usually Charizards won't run if they're running setup because it doesn't really get any special setup moves outside of maybe workup.
Yeah, I mean, we did correctly get posted in the chat, Eon Enigma saying support Zard.
That's true.
Mean, it does get some nice support moves.
I mean, it's got Roost, it's got Willow, it's got, a couple of moves that it can definitely take advantage of that.
He has Magnet Rise.
So actually, the Giglets comes out not
in the moveset there?
Not going immediately
into. Actually have it?
Yeah, this Manectric did have Magnet Rise. We did see its moveset. But the
I did say the gravity does answer the Magnet Rise Manectric.
Sure does. So the sand's up, and we know that Manectric is going to have trouble hitting the Excadrill. And we actually see the eject button right off the bat. So the Thunderbolt comes off, does a little bit of damage. This looks like the situation that T-Shen has been waiting for to get this Excadrill in basically for free.
We may see some sword stance here, right?
I mean, he's got very little to fear. I mean, maybe Manectric stays in, goes for like a overheat or something.
Energy Ball? I believe Manectric does get access to Energy Ball, but as we did see from the moveset, it did have all 4 electric type moves, which means that this Manectric was going for the offensive gravity here. I'm not sure what his plan was for the
yeah, I'm surprised there's no fire move, whether flamethrower or overheat, just to stop this thing from setting up, because while the Excadrill could go for an Earthquake, I think the most dangerous thing it could do right now is go for some sort of setup. So if you just had the opportunity to overheat it, yeah, maybe it's an Akaberry, but at least you pop it. You can deal with it in another way, maybe later on if it gets a Swords Dance up. But the fact of the matter is
if this thing does get Swords Dance up in the sand, this game might be over. We might be seeing the closeout here, guys.
I mean, with the Corviknight still at full and Gravity expiring, I don't think it's going to quite be that easy for him yet.
I feel like Corviknight is going to be the biggest problem here for T-Shen. We do see someone here is thinking very much about what might happen here. But I do feel like we're going to see a Swords Dance. Oh, we do get an Earthquake coming in here.
Maybe.
Which means that T-Shen was concerned about some retaliation attack from that Manectric.
Yeah, he definitely didn't want to just let it go for an overheat on a setup move. But because the gravity had expired already and Eric was aware of that, he was able to actually get this Corviknight in basically for free.
Now, interestingly, here we see Iron Head and Body Press with U-turn without any way of boosting defense.
Yeah, there's no
So
bulk
I
up
feel
or
like
anything on the
this-
set.
No, there's no bulk up, there's no iron defense, nothing like that.
Our first body press that's not designed to be specifically a sweeper.
Exactly.
But
Well, it's entirely possible that this thing he might have sacrificed speed here to go for the defense, which would support the. I believe there was a roost on there, which would support the roost option, going more defensive, possibly designed as a perfect counter for the Excadrill.
yeah, I mean, gravity would help Tishan help deal with that being a pretty perfect counter. We do actually see the flamethrower is on this Manectric set, so he does have it. Whether or not
there is a flamethrower on there, so it's flamethrower, volt switch. Oh, so he's going for the double pivot here, going straight into Manectric and then straight back out again.
I mean, again, if the Excadrill comes in, he doesn't really fear the Excadrill because the gravity's not up, so then the Corviknight can just always come back in on that thing. It basically has no moves that can deal with Corviknight. Even at +2, I don't think like even a Rock Slide is going to be doing close to 50%. So it's not stab. It's not even super effective. So,
I mean, it is. So the biggest thing here is possibly this Charizard is going to be, has got a lot of good answers for most of their team. If Manectric does die here, then I feel like that we might see Zero in trouble. But I think Hef might. Sorry, is it Hef? No, it's not Hef.
Tishan.
Tishan, thank you. I think Tishan does opt for the switch straight into Mew here. He doesn't want to risk losing Charizard to that Manectric. But we do see some nice damage on that Mew from that Bolt switch.
Certainly. I mean, that Manectric has been putting in some work, and honestly, maybe going into Excadrill there was a good play. It doesn't take sand damage, and it forces that the Manectric to take sand damage, right? So then if Manectric does continue to get chipped down even just a little bit, it does end up getting just a little bit more closer to imminent death.
Tishan was playing around a potential fire-type attack from Zero here. Mew is a pretty safe switch in on most Pokemon, and therefore would allow for an idea of what is going to happen. We do see our second kill of this battle going to the Sableye.
It's actually Sableye's first kill, but that's
Yeah, I meant second kill of the battle.
But, I see what you're saying. But the Shadow Sneak is going to be able to take out the Mew without it being able to set up a gravity here. So
yeah, that might be clutch for the battle here. Seeing that the Mew is the best answer for the Corviknight.
Now this Charizard definitely still has some offensive potential here. Flamethrower would easily take out this Sableye if it doesn't decide to go for recover or anything, and it doesn't. So we are going to see Tishan pick up his first kill of the match. And Charizard certainly...
I think I missed a kill here.
What?
When I said second...
Lapras...
Hef just pointed out that it's 6-3.
Yeah, Lapras has killed both the Jellicent and the Heliolisk. Sableye has killed the Mew.
Oh, yes. The Jellicent, I forgot about that. So we do see Charizard getting a snagging kill here. And in comes the Manectric again.
At this point...
I think we might see that there's no Mew now, so this might be a switch into the Excadrill at this point.
Actually, it's just straight into the Gigalith. And setting up the sand for the Excadrill.
Saying 3 minutes.
I guess, you know, Tishan's going with the only strategy he really has left, which is try to get that Excadrill to set up and to win the game, because it's going to be hard for him to find another win con here.
I feel like at this point, there's no harm in just going into Corviknight and attempting to get the sweep here, but we are going to see a switch into Lapras.
Maybe going for some stats for the Lapras.
Yeah, possibly going to try to get some damage in before the.
Well, he's also
before the Excadrill comes
maybe
out.
correctly isolated that this is a moment where you click Surf and it's pick a sack, right? Because all 3 of the remaining Mons are weak to.
If time runs out, if one person is free up against the other, what were the points there, Gold? Do you want to just explain to the chat?
Yeah, so it's going to be if time does expire before the battle is able to finish, the winner will still get points. So we're doing it actually in a point system, not just a win-loss system. So in this case, right now, let's say it ends right this minute. It's 5-2. Eric will get credited with the win because he is up in Pokemon. The game will say that he won, so we will also say that he won in the league. He will be awarded 2 points. However, if he is able to finish the battle in time and the game is able to end, he will be awarded 4 points instead of the 2 points. So either way, he's going to get positive points.
Interesting play here. So we're up against the Lapras. So we got T-Shirt up against the Lapras here, and they choose to go into Charizard,
which does manage to pick up the KO with Flamethrower.
Yeah, it does manage to pick up a kill with Flamethrower.
And I think maybe that's to keep the Corviknight off the field, since the Corviknight
it is entirely possible. Yes,
is the one thing that basically ends the game if it gets in against that Excadrill. And we do actually, I'm looking at his team now. He really does not have a way to kill this Charizard in time.
Oh, he does not. The only way to kill the Charizard is Manectric. Now we are going into possibly the final turn here of the battle, and we sadly did not see the Surfetch hit the field.
Didn't get to see it, but it's going to be unlikely that either of these Pokemon are able to kill each other without some remarkable critical hit or something happening here. If Charizard does have Roost, we'll see it here for sure.
We have seen that the Rock Slide is a free hit KO without a crit, thanks to the burn. We do get one more turn here if they do pick their moves very quickly.
Lots of after-turn effects, though, unfortunately, but it's going to be interesting to see whether he chooses to go for the Earthquake or the Rock Slide here. If there is a Roost here, then the Earthquake would have killed the Charizard potentially. If there is not a Roost, then it is going to be the Rock Slide that kills it instead. And we do actually see the Roost, so this will be the last turn. A critical hit would give him that extra little bit of differential, maybe mattering going into the future, but looks like it's going to end up being...
The critical hit would not kill anymore. So the interesting thing about the Roost here is it now is no longer a ×4, but a ×2, which means that it is taking very little damage from that Rock Slide. So that is the end of the battle here, guys. We do see that T-Shen does lose week 1, much to a lot of our surprise, isn't it, Gold?
Yeah, that's not the result that many of us expected.
No, this is not the result that anyone expected. But congratulations to both of the battlers. You did battle very, very well. That is a win to 0. I believe that is a 4-2 win.
Yes.
So it would be 2-0.
Be accredited for a 2-point win.
Gold, do you want to just quickly explain how we are working with the Pokemon that did snag these kills?
Yeah, so the way this season is going to work is again, if you manage to kill all of your opponent's Pokemon, then your differential is whatever Pokemon you have remaining, and you get 4 points awarded to you. If you do not manage to kill all your opponent's Pokemon, so it ends because the timer is incredibly restrictive in this generation, you will be awarded 2 points, and the differential will be the differential between whatever your opponent had left and whatever you had left. So, as Alice was saying, this is a differential of 2 because Eric had 4 Pokemon left and T-Shen only had 2. Eric will be awarded 2 points for the victory. T-Shen will get none. However, if the battle is able to finish, then we are going to see that the person who loses